You know, there's always a debate about nuclear power versus renewables, and the renewables are called intermittent, right? Not permanent, permanently produced. Now, this is a very interesting case. This is one reactor in France that was shut down in the middle of May 2015, and this here was the planned time for outage. That outage was planned. It was meant to replace major components, so it was a long outage. It was planned as to last for 250 days. But it was corrected 2 months later, and then a few days later, and then again, and then again. And then in 2016, in March 2016, we were already at the 7th revision of the scheduled restart date. They had an accident. A steam generator fell inside the containment. Now, a steam generator is not like a, you know, like a screw or a hammer. I mean, it's a over 400 ton piece of equipment. So the event in the reactor building was felt like an earthquake. Several people had to be actually treated because they were under shock. So that obviously had some impact on the scheduled restart, because of verifications, because of repair, because of you know, all kinds of consequences. So this increased significantly in the revisions after. But still, you know, the operator didn't seem to be able to actually plan ahead, even if it's a few months ahead. And I find actually the most stunning, if you look at this part here. This is 2 months, a 2 months period. And in these 2 months, they revised the scheduled restart date 10 times. So the total number of revisions is 27. So 27 times they had to delay the planned restart. Now, what I find quite surprising on top of all of this, that this total unavailability of 1,164 days is in the statistics as planned outage. Because originally, it was planned to shut down the reactor. So it was, all of this is in the statistics as a planned outage, which I don't find reflects really reality if you look at what happened. So it doesn't seem to be that easy and that permanent to forecast production and to guarantee that the scheduled production is actually available from nuclear power plants as planned. And so this is 51 reactors in France. Their operational record as out in days outage. So it's 51 reactors that were of 58. So only 7 have been operating all these 6 months, right? 7 from 58 have operated throughout that period. 51 had outages. Some planned, some not planned. But again, the term planned or unplanned seems to be quite flexible for the operator, right? And it's discussable. What is very clear is that outages have been extended many times. So the revisions are no exception. So it's if you look at the total number of outage days of the French nuclear reactor fleet in the first half of 2018, it's over 2,200 days. I find that a quite amazing number for electricity generating units that are supposed to operate 24 hours a day, isn't it? I know that also in this country, there's all kinds of myths that have been, stories that have been told, surprising stories. So I would just like to give you one picture on what happened in Germany between 2010 and 2017. You know, or many of you know that Germany has a nuclear phase-out legislation in place. By 2022, all of the reactors are supposed to be shut down. Nuclear phase-out proceeds as planned. So the nuclear power generation dropped by 64 terawatt hours. On the other hand, renewable electricity generation increased by almost twice as much. And I think in 2018 it actually will be more than twice as much. I haven't seen the figures yet, but it's highly likely. On the other hand, we have seen a reduction in fossil fuel consumption. That's another thing you can always read, right? That, oh, Germany is building building coal-fired power plants, you know, to make up for nuclear power plants. Well, not exactly. Some people have said, well, look at net export increase. Germany overtook France as the largest electricity exporter in Europe in 2016. And then we see here the consumption decrease at minus 16%. That's absolute key, right? Because let's be very clear, no climate protection policy with increasing consumption. It does not work. So it's absolutely crucial that efficiency kicks in. Now, it's been clear for a long time that you cannot build a new nuclear power plant anymore under market economy conditions. If you build it anyway, then it's for other reasons, and you have to, somebody has to subsidize it. It's impossible to be competitive in new build. But not only that, what we've been seeing for the past few years in addition is that reactors that are operating and that are actually amortized cannot compete in the market. So this is an example where 18 reactors have been scheduled for shutdown for the period 2009 and 2025. 6 of which have already been shut down. Now, there are some state governments in the US that try to save in uneconomic reactors by injecting cash. It's a brutal subsidy. It's very simple. It's like throwing hundreds of millions of dollars to machines that are uneconomic in the market. Whether that's reasonable or not is another one can discuss, but that's the situation. So a lot of these reactors now only survive because they get significant subsidies. Now, what is interesting in these cases is we've talked about the 60-year license approvals in the United States, which is now almost 4 in 5 reactors in the United States, so it's a very large share. And you see that, you see many yes. So these reactors actually had undergone upgrading, like major maintenance, repair, etc., to get the license for 20 additional years of operation. Well, look at what age they were shut down. Only one reactor, by 2021 will have an age of over 50 years. All the others below. Some even have not attained 40 years of operational license. And this is really the major reason is economic. Not only there were some safety-related issues that would have been very difficult and very expensive to address, but the primary reason here is economic.